All right, everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming along on this investigation with us. I want to point out how everyone on this investigation has really put in a lot of time and effort. The ship that is hosting us, they have done a great job. They've bent over backwards helping us jump through hoops. It's been nothing but a privilege for myself and Ian Hickin to work with this group. And the ship, I ain't gonna lie, we've had some hassles trying to get things up and going and whatnot. And you know, when it comes to investigations like this, we always do have technical issues. I don't care how much we try to plan ahead, they just completely happen.
Well, I explained to him earlier when we started the show, what we're doing with an internet connection is not something that's supposed to be done with an internet connection. They're not designed to have 5 or 6 computers streaming, uplinking video at the same time. So when we show up on a location, we're going to push it further than it's supposed to even be pushed.
Oh, definitely.
And so anytime you, by virtue of habit, go out and push systems to the max to get done what we're trying to get done, there's going to be technical issues. And I'll tell you, you know, we had the issues we had today. We had internet problems. We had to completely go through the system 3 or 4 times. We had to go buy more wire. We had to run different wire. We had to put new plugs in. We spent another $100 today on wire to make this happen. The point is we never know what's going to happen when we come on these. We came out and tested the internet. It was 100%. It was great. Then, you know, it's what happens. You get out here and then things change a little bit, because once you put the load on there, you're going to have problems. It's like you could have a transformer out in front of your house that works for 10 years, but the one day that you really need that heater all through the night, you're going to overheat that transformer and it's going to pop because you're putting that extra load on it. And that's what we're doing with internet connections.
But I'll tell you what, we did try to plan ahead of time. We went and bought all this wiring for our Ethernet cables. We bought all these different connectors so that we can pre-cut right here at the ship the lengths we needed, where we didn't have anything too short and we didn't have piles wrapped up of extras. And you know, once again, unforeseen. If it can happen, it will happen, and it did. We cut the wires and we had them where we wanted. We had our techs going to put the new ends on them so that we can plug in everything to the internet. And what happened? What happens was we hooked it all up and the ends were no good. They weren't making the connections. So here we are with all this wire, all these connectors that just do not work. And what did we have to do? We had to go out last minute. Luckily for us, there was a supply place around here where we were able to get a hold of the cable.
Well, you and I met last night at Home Depot and spent $100. So that was last night, and then we get here today, and what we bought last night didn't work.
Nope.
So we had to go out today and buy additional wire and cable connectors and things. But the point is, all the stuff we've purchased both times can all be used in the future. That's the good news.
Oh, yeah.
So
but
we haven't wasted anything. It's just we've spent a lot on this investigation. So.
Well, you know, the thing is it's kind of a good thing to talk about this. You know, I'm sure a lot of you people at home are, you know, have their own groups, or obviously a lot of them are interested in how this works. So, you know, if they have their own group or are considering it, they have an idea what's going on.
Right.
And, you know, one thing to keep in mind is, you know, Ian and I were very fanatical about how we get things done. We plan way ahead of time. We don't take things for granted. You know, we train our teams properly. We do exercises to make sure that they're ready for anything we put before them. We have rules set. I mean, we're very intricate in our planning, but yet things like this happen. And you know, it's a good learning experience, even for you guys at home. If you're thinking of doing this or already doing it, don't let these little things get you. And they are little things. Yeah, they get on your nerves.
We were both frustrated several times on and off today. It's like,
oh, there were times I felt like throwing things across the room. But you know, if you think about it, they are little things. If you sit there and look around this ship and what we've done, and how we're spread out from one end to the other. You know, a couple weeks ago, or a couple days ago even, we were sitting there going, we're going to have to really bring it in and bring it in. We're not going to be able to spread it out like we want it.
And we still managed to do it.
And we did. We spread it out because
we've got over 4,000 feet of cable out in this ship right now.
4,000. That's an amazing.
4,000 feet of cable, including all the new cable we just bought and all the cable that 3 other groups have.
That's right.
So yeah, it's a lot of cabling. And then you got internet cable. There's another 500 feet internet cable running through this ship. So I mean, it's just amazing.
So even with the problems that we did have with the internet cables and how our ends didn't meet and how you and I sat there for 2 hours over the radio going, are we getting anywhere? Are we getting anywhere? And, you know, getting frustrated that time's running short. We were hoping to be ready to go by 7 o'clock. We were hoping to have a couple hours of leeway. And here we are, literally, you and I were sitting there, 10 minutes to go, getting the last cables up and going, setting up Mogulus, and if I remember right, you had like 4 minutes, and you're like, I got to
actually,
get up there.
I was running the opener. I was just starting the opener when the power went out. We were just going in to run the opener. I was putting my shirt on, getting my mic ready and everything, and right as I went to click the button to roll the opener at 10 o'clock, the power went off. We lost the main hub, both of our hubs that we've put in, and we lost power to all of our computer systems that are not laptops, which is, I think, 4 or 5 towers we've got running.
Which goes back to what we're talking about. All these things that happen during an investigation, the law stands. Anything that can happen will happen.
Hold on just a second. You calling main command? We still have to answer the radio, even though we're on this. The puck is not set up yet. It'll be set up for the next rotation. The puck is going to be set up in front of the cash register there in the first room you come in there, in front of the Sony Night Shot, which is hooked up to channel 4. We're wanting to put some chairs right in front of that Sony Night Shot and do some provoking in there, and we're also going to be doing some the puck work in there.
And development of the show. I mean, you and I talked about adding this and adding that, and you know, when you first started this, when I used to be an FPR long time ago. Actually, for me, it was another lifetime. It was a year ago, but it was to me a lifetime. But when we were together in that group, you were talking about we're going to do, Paul, we're going to go out and we're going to do something that, you know, isn't done really that often and whatnot. We're going to go out, we're going to make a internet iPodcast, a podcast show.
Yep.
You know, I'm like, hey man, that sounds cool, you know, and whatnot. And we were sitting there trying to figure out how to do the boards and everything. And then next thing you know, Paul, yeah, I'm not doing a podcast anymore. What do you mean?
I'm going straight to video.
I'm going straight to video. We're
straight to video.
Skipping this.
I skipped right over podcast.
And I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, you skipped over that, and now you're going to, how are you doing video? And then you sit there and look at how it's already progressed. I mean, the video, you've already increased multiple aspects of what originally the original designs were. I mean, it's an amazing feat. And you're always looking at new modifications, new ideas. And, you know, the cool part is, honestly, is you do have a good network going. You have a lot of people helping you with your shows. You know, you have Spy, which comes on. You have our team. You have Team Phenomenon. And, you know, that you have to admit is a great resource for the show in itself. But the time and effort to putting these shows together is just unbelievable. I've sat there and told my wife, I said, you know what? I spent hours and hours working on the cases. I mean, this case for this ship, I couldn't even begin to count the hours I put into it.
Between us all, we've got 1,000, 2,000 hours into this investigation. I mean, I know that sounds unrealistic. I've spent 40 hours on this in the last week. Just in the last week, just in the last 6 days, I've spent 40 hours working on this.
Job. And
plus working my normal job. And even when I'm at my normal job, the moment I stop whatever I'm doing this.
Right.
So, yeah, it's amazing.
I told my wife, I said, you know, I'm putting this case together, and I had some great help in my team and your team. I had Margaret, I had Jennifer working with the ship. I had Red, Red is a lifesaver. She really is. She helped with the